Good day, YouTube. It is the 4th of March, 2024, and we are upstairs in my sewing center at the barn. And we're not going to work on Elna machines today, but I just picked up this one. I had this one. This one's made in 1957. This one was made in 1956. Same model, so they're absolutely identical. But in 44,400 model numbers or production numbers apart. Interesting thought. My artisan walking foot industrial machine is fully functioning, but some years ago, my wife and I used to be part-time antique dealers, and we'd go to at least 2 auctions a week, sometimes many more than that. And estate auctions and stuff on site, and we had our own moving truck, and basically there was no limitations to how much stuff we could buy. And this is just a purchase that we made back in the day. My wife thought she needed a Serger and asked me to buy it. I did, and it's been sitting ever since. We didn't even know if it worked. So I thought, since how I was getting machines up and running in my sewing area upstairs, and I would see if this thing works. So I told her to dig it out and give it to me. It will now be stored here where we could use it if we needed it, but it's pretty hard to use something if it doesn't work. So I kind of strung things out, and I got the speed control out. Was not going to do a video on it, but the speed control was broke. I'm going to bring you in and show you. I don't know anything about these things. It's the first one I've ever had apart in my life. But it was pretty clear how it was supposed to work. So I took the bottom off, okay, here. And the reason I did that is because it rattled. There were things that were rattling around in the bottom here. And what those things were, let me see if I can get this off without dropping anything. This piece here sits here. Let me use this as a pointer. What we have in here is a metal or conductive round piece of metal that this will sit on top of when it's in that position. Below that are, I didn't count them, but let's say a couple dozen black discs. I assume they're carbon or something close to that, and they're just stacked one on top of each other. And then this goes on top of the metal piece here, and it was bolted all the way down. I've got these 2 screws out of this. This is like porcelain, but there was a screw that screwed this to the porcelain, okay, and kept those at that fixed position right there. What happened is this screw, which was a brass screw, the head broke off. Now the head's down here, and so the head broke off, leaving this loose. This bottom nut was there holding that piece down. Let me grab a light. Hang on. I can get this in a good spot for you to potentially see better. There we go. Okay, so now you can see where that bolt went all the way through, and then that first nut held that conductive metal piece down, and then above it you see that white wire with a ring terminal on it. It went between the nuts, okay? So that is, part of your 120 volt cord. Okay, so you've got, whether they put this basically a rheostat in the hot or the neutral probably doesn't matter, but it's probably the hot wire that goes from your plug-in into this rheostat, and then comes back into your machine to give you speed control. So this is a foot pedal, right? It's a foot pedal. I'm not going to push this at the moment because I got things apart. But if you push this down, what it did was, and I'll show you when we get it done, it pushed on a spring down here that put pressure on those stacks of a couple dozen those black discs that I showed you that are underneath that plate, and decrease the resistance to increase the speed. Okay, so you have those discs, they're kind of semi-conductive, and if you don't put any pressure on them, they allow some current to flow through, but not a lot. When you squeeze them tight, they become more conductive and allow more current to flow and run your machine quicker. Okay, that's what little I know about sewing machines. I'm not a seamster or whatever. But anyway, this thing was clearly broke, and I thought, well, I'm no sewing machine mechanic, but I know a broken bolt when I see one. So I went down to the McDonald bolt, which if it exists, they've got it. This turns out to be a 4mm, so it's a metric bolt with a metric thread, and they did have some, but nothing quite this long in brass. They did have some steel ones, but we couldn't get the correct length with enough threads. So I said, well, just change that to an 832, where we got some options. So this is what we ended up with an 832, almost the exact length, and plenty of threads, because I need to be in this area to get this bolted back in. So I got to get this new bolt. It's an Allen head, which is fine. So I got to send it in from the bottom and get all the way through this metal piece without losing these discs out of this hole that goes through here, this stack of discs. I didn't take them all out, but there was at least 15 or 20 that had fallen out of here and were laying in here. None of them were broke. Thank goodness for that. Okay, so I'll take these two nuts off. We'll slide this bolt all the way through. We'll put one nut down. I got some small wrenches here for that. It's 11/32 is what it's going to take. So I got one ignition wrench and one small regular wrench. And then we've got to put this wire back on and then put the second nut back on. That's what we got to do. So I give you a close-up. I'll do what I can to let you see this. It might be a little difficult to film, but we'll see what we got, and we'll put this back together and see if it works. I do not know if this machine works. I'm thinking now that while somebody gave it up to the auction, was this. And according to a video or two that I have watched on this machine, because I've never used one in my life, I've never even seen one used other than the two videos that I've watched today, they said a regular Singer foot pedal for a sewing machine will work on this Serger. So cool. If this fails, we're not dead in the water yet. I might head down to the local thrift stops and see if there is such a thing. I've never looked for one before, but I'm sure we can find one, use one somewhere. All right, I'm going to set you up in a stand. I'm going to get you as close to this as I can via Zoom and see if we can get this put back together, and then A, see if it works, B, see if this works. Here we go. All right, wish me luck. All right, broken bolt, you're out of here. Yes, it was a $2.50 bolt without the nuts. Is what it is. At least I had something, right? All right. I've got to be careful. Got to be careful. Because I could send the parts flying. How come you didn't take the nuts off this bolt, Glenn? Huh? Asked you 3 times. Alright, so again, 832. and it's not brass. I don't think it has to be brass. The two parts that are conductive are the ring terminal and that top piece, I think. I don't really know what's underneath it. Didn't look. So it might be wrong. Could be wrong. Ugh. Bummer. So this head, dang. Well, I think they used the head of that screw to bypass the resistors and go wide open throttle, is what they did. So this is not going to be the same. I didn't look very close, and again, never having dealt with one of these in my life. So this head of this brass screw is very specific to this, and this head's over twice that size. I think at the bare minimum I need to go grind half this head off. Yeah, that's what I need to do. Unfortunately, we couldn't get a brass one, so I think this will work fine, but you know, one day it might get some corrosion on it. We'll have to clean it up. I don't know if this screw's available or what, but I can see now that when this gets pushed on, it puts pressure on this stack of carbon discs, and then it'll get to a point where it will short straight across to this screw, and we're going to bypass speed control and go wide open throttle, basically all the way over and back up. That's why this entire thing was brass. But steel's a conductor. It's not the greatest, not as good as brass, but couldn't get it, and I want to see if this works. So I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to go grind half this head off so that it'll work similar to how it used to, and go from there. And maybe I'll look online. I don't know if that screw's available or what. I don't know. I'll be back. You guys still there? Oh, there you are. Okay. That's what I did. What do you think? I think it'll work. Gonna have to use the pliers to hold it when we tighten it up. Alright, now gotta be careful. We're gonna mess this up. We mess this up, we lose the shop. Terrible. How did I do that last time? Get this picked out of there. Y'all hear it raining? How do I get this in with this thing hanging there? Oh, I didn't think this all the way through, did I? I gotta get that to that hole with that thing there. How am I gonna do that? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Come on. Put it back together. There we go. There you go. This was about to fall out of there again. because I pushed on it from underneath. Come on now. Oh, smokes. They're just flying around there like they're whatever. Oh my goodness. This is going to be way more complicated than I anticipated. There's another one of those brass screws over here. I'd have to get this spring out of here like this. It must come out and allow this other half. I'm holding those discs in with my finger. If I lose it, they're out of here. Oh my stars. There's just no way this is going in through that hole with this stuff in the way. Now, nuts. Ooh, I might have got it. The spring out of here. Yeah. What does that get me? I gotta get this other screw out. Oops. How about a Phillips? Boy, I wish I had one more hand. Dang. I don't suppose part of this wrench fits this little guy, do you? Nope. Do you suppose I can get it with a long nose pliers? It's pretty tight. Yep, I've got it. Okay, one nut off, we'll get the wire off. There's a washer, copper washer. Alright, now we got to get that. You can see that stack I'm holding with my finger. If I lose them, I'll never find them all. It will never work again. But I got to get this other nut off to get this other screw out so I can get the other screw in. Whose idea was this? We're too deep in it now to quit, so dang. I am not left-handed. Oh boy. Wish I would have grabbed a wrench for this. Didn't know I had to take it off of there. Ooh, I think we got it. Yeah. Okay, now we maybe got that thing out of the way far enough to get this in. Yes. Yes, we do. Okay. Then we put this down. You guys are seeing this because there's no way I can do you any better. Remember, I just ground the head off of this thing, so I got, like, I brought an Allen wrench with me. I don't know if it'd still work. I've ground so much of it away. There's like almost not enough. Almost not enough. But it's snug. It's close to snug. I'm not even sure if the wrenches that I brought are going to cut it either. Ooh. It's working. Cool. Oh yeah, okay. Success. Now we got to get this other side back together. So we'll tighten this other nut by hand. We might make it yet. This thing better work for all the effort I put in it. Oh, you know what I could have done? Just took this screw and put it over here. Dang. It needs to be over here anyway. I already ground the head off. Okay, brass screw. Tight. Now I gotta put that spring back in. Oh great, it's two of them stacked on top of each other. Yeah. Okay, so just remember how it went in there. So this went through there. I pushed it down because there's a wider groove at the bottom to get that in. Alright, let's try it one spring at a time. Two springs. Whose idea is that? Okay, there's one. Yeah? Oh boy. You guys are just gonna have to zoom ahead or something. Oh, you know what? I think this is 3 springs. I don't know. Hard to see. Hard to see. Trying to hit the slot. Wish I had one more hand. One more hand. Come on. Come on. It is. This is like 3 springs. Isn't it? Keep seeing a 3rd spring. Come on. Ah. Well, guys, you're just stuck with me here because I don't really have a free hand to pause the camera. There's a wider slot at the bottom of this that somehow I've got to hit, and it's not cooperating. Come on, you little pain in the butt. Right, I'm going to take it back out and try to put it in the bottom. I've been trying to put one on top of the other. Let me try the bottom. When first you don't succeed, try it a different way. Right? Come on. Hello. Today. Let's get in there. Cameraman's off today. He's not working. Holy smokes. Ooh, got it. Got it. Finally. Then we just need to bow these up. Slide them in that other area, and there we have it. Well, I think it's going to work. Now we got to put this back, and because I haven't shown you what this foot pedal does, so there's just a spring in here to make it come back, then there's this rubber bumper on this side that's going to push this up. Okay, it's going to put pressure on that stack of carbon discs which are under here and send that out until this hits that screw, which will then bypass the carbon disc and just let the current run straight across and out. So we've taken away its nice conductive brass screw and put a steel one in, but it is what it is. That's what we got. Just gonna set the tension and make sure those are tight as can be. Oh yeah. Little extra torque. Never hurt nobody. Okay, so now we'll put the wires back on both sides. This machine better work after all this hassle. And the screws that hold this thing in are slotted, so you can kind of adjust that a little bit. Okay, so I can get the brass nut and copper washer back on the side it came off of. I don't know how a modern day foot pedal is manufactured. It's probably all electronic now, be my guess. And the 832 nut on the other side. Okay. Okay. Okay, we use the long nose. Pliers again to tighten these down. One Mississippi, two Mississippi. Oh yeah. Well, as tight as they need to be anyway. Now we just got to put the screws back in that hold this ceramic block in place. And then we'll have to adjust it to make sure that when we go all the way down, we hit that screw with the brass plate, right? Because otherwise we won't have high gear. And we need high gear. This is a high production Serger machine. But it's got to have high gear to be high production. Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to play with this and make sure we go all the way. I'm going to adjust that a little more. Yep, definitely. Definitely. Okay. Don't over tighten it. You can break that porcelain like nobody's business. Alright, so put this cover back on. It's missing a little rubber foot. Yeah. It is. This is the moment of truth, boys and girls. Did the fix it? And does the Serger work? I mean, I would have no record of what I might have paid for this, but I'm pretty sure it would be in like $25 or less. Okay. All right. It didn't explode. What do you guys think? Place your bets. I don't know what's... Hey, light came on. So it is getting power. You ready? Uh-oh. Oh. Yeah. Winner still champion, baby. We made it work! Look at that! Alright. That's what we got, boys and girls. That's our video for today that I didn't plan to make, but, you know, when in Rome. So, I'm just learning about Sergers, and I'm learning about this. Did I buy a good one? Did I buy a piece of junk? It's a model 14U34, and I've done a few, watched a couple videos so far on old YouTube, and evidently it's a pretty good old machine. So I'm going to learn a little more about it, get some needles and parts coming for it if we figure out it actually does work well. But that's what I started off doing today, and then all the parts and pieces in that foot pedal was just jingling around in there. So we were able to successfully put it back together, and it does work, so that's good. Appreciate you watching the video. This is kind of different video for me, but you know, it might help somebody, so we put it out there. So thumbs up on the way out the door if you don't mind, so maybe 3 more people will watch it. That'd be cool. And we'll see you on the next video. Hey guys, bonus footage. Got to show you how it works. So I've been fiddling with it. You can see it. Let's do this edge, this frayed edge. Let's just run her through there and watch it. It's actually a cool machine. I've never used one, never seen one till this one, right? So this is all new to me. What do you think? Look pretty good, right? Let's sew a couple pieces together. I grabbed a couple pieces of this. Same, it's like umbrella material. I used it on a golf cart canopy one time. So we'll put a frayed edge up against a nice edge. Okay, and we'll sew them together. Okay, something like that. What do you think? Probably got a little adjusting to do, but I'll fiddle with it. Yep. This would be a good thing to, you know, run your, if you were doing like upholstery or something, to run that and then bring this back like so, and then top stitch it on the sewing machine. You know, do like that. Anyway, we got it running. It was actually quite a challenge to get it threaded, but now that I've threaded it once, no big deal. It's very hard for sometimes people to explain on their videos, which I couldn't have done this without them, exactly how this thing threads, and I made an error or so. And once I figured that out, it was good to go. But I'm sure I paid somewhere in the neighborhood of $20 or $25 for this thing. It doesn't have this piece, but it doesn't seem to bother it any, so no big deal. It works perfectly. And I did some, you know, searching on this 14U34, and evidently it's a good one, and that was just by chance. It was the only one available at that particular estate auction, and I was one of the few that were interested in it, so we ended up with it. We fixed the speed controller. It works perfectly, and it's a good machine. Now that it works, it's all threaded. We'll leave it ready to go. If we need it at a minute's notice, it's good to go. I already fixed my dog's bed with it yesterday, and it's already been a productive part of our tool arsenal here at the barn. So appreciate you stopping in. Appreciate you watching the video. Thumbs up on the way out. We'll catch you on the next one.